Okay, Assalamualaikum and good day. So I will be continuing with the helpful phrases in writing business letters. So to note to everyone that these phrases is not only going to be useful for business or formal letters, correspondence, it will also be useful for email writing, memo writing, and any kind of formal writing that you will do in the future. Sometimes it is also used in conversations, but mostly in business correspondence. It's more apt to use them in writing form. So these are some of the helpful phrases that we can go for in the writing. I usually would recommend to my students not to try force yourself or get too stressed out trying to remember everything. Okay, what you can do is you can pick one or two from each of the boxes to remember, because at the end of the day, everyone writes different. So um, if you felt that trying to remember all of the 6 or 7 points in each of the boxes is too much for you to memorize, or you felt that it's not really suitable with my writing style, you can pick and choose the ones that you felt is good for you, the one that you felt is more natural for you to use. And the more that you use the words essentially in your writing, the better you will get at writing formal correspondence. So to begin with, you can start with either you wanted to use a first person pronoun, I, myself, or you can use the third person pronoun, we, as a representative of your company. So if you use the word we, you are representing an organization, or you choose to represent the organization. But if you use the word I, then it's actually more personal and usually suitable. You can use either one, we or I, depending on your intention. Okay, so the purpose of writing, you can mention if you want to inform, if you want to confirm, if you want to request, or if you want to inquire, or to hold on. Um, Inquire and inquire. Pronunciation is the same, but the spelling would be different for British English and American English. I usually would accept both. Enquire, Enquire is British English, but Inquire, inquire, and also inquire. Not so much difference in terms of the pronunciation, but for the spelling of American English, it's inquire. And I will accept both. Okay, so technically the pronunciation is still the same. Okay, some people will spell it as inquire or inquire. Formally in our notes, inquire with an E, not an I. Next, you can also make a reference. For you to respond, you can say, thank you for your letter, or thank you for contacting us. I see that a lot in services usually. Thank you for contacting us, or thank you for your letter regarding, etc. Or with reference to our telephone conversation yesterday, or with reference to your advertisement, with reference to your catalog, with response to your job advertisement in job street. I would like to apply for this position. So use that if you are referring to something. Next, to be making a request. When you want to make a request in a formal letter, it is best if you add on the word of appreciation, or telling them that you like, that you would be grateful. Okay, or number one, we would appreciate. Okay, so there is a request and also insistence that the person should do something for you. But you don't want to be blunt by saying, send me a report, send me a brochure, send me something. So that's too direct. Okay? And especially in a formal correspondence where you do not know who you are speaking to and you do not know who is responding to you, it's best if you could take a step back and use some appreciative word. We would like, or we would appreciate if you would. Or in addition, I would also like to receive, and it would be helpful. So you tell them firsthand that, oh, you are being very helpful to me and I feel happy. So I would be helpful if you could send me a sample, maybe. Yes, I'll be helpful. I will be grateful. Okay, I am thankful to you if you could do something for me. Okay, and I am interested in obtaining. Talk about your interests. Okay, or please let me know what action you propose to take. This one is a little bit straightforward. Okay, usually for a more seriously based content, maybe the item is referring to a request that is of a delayed services or delayed in products which will affect your event. Okay, so for the last sentence there, please let me know what action you propose to take is usually when the two parties have realized there is an error and they are trying to rectify the error. So from then, there is already an established communication before. So now they can be straightforward. Please let me know what action you propose to take. If it is the first time that you are communicating with someone, perhaps it's not good if you were to say, please let me know what you will do. That's too straightforward for someone whom you are sending the letter for the first time. Okay. The next one is enclosing. Enclosing or an enclosure is similar to attachment in email. In a letter, we call it enclosure. The most formal word to be used is enclosure, but sometimes we do also accept attachment in letters, but the formal way to say it is enclose. I am enclosing. So, or enclose, you will find. This is an attachment or a kind of documentation that you put together with the formal letter. Very often when you do a job application, you will submit together your CV. So together with this cover letter, I enclose my resume. I enclose my CV. Or enclose, you will find my resume for your reference. Yeah, I'll continue with this a little bit after enclosing the documentation. Okay, the next one is the phrases that you can use to offer help. So if you cannot remember everything, just remember one. Would you like us to do this for you? Or we would be happy to. Oftentimes, when you offer something to someone, would you like us to send you a different quotation? Or we would be happy to give you 20% discount. Or we are quite willing to set the date on 24th of March, or uh, our company would be pleased to endorse things that you requested before or something similar. So when you offer help, just choose one of the phrases. Okay, moving on to formal letters that is intended to give good news versus to give bad news. Now, in choosing the phrases for good news, make sure that the good news is for the recipient, not for you. The good news is for the recipient, not because sometimes your good news is not another person's good news. So make sure that it is good news for your recipient versus giving bad news. So some phrases, and make sure that you do not accidentally mix up giving bad news phrases to giving good news phrases. It will be really awkward and it can lead to misunderstanding. Okay, imagine a situation where you wanted to tell a candidate that they are not selected for the scholarship. Let's say you apply for, let's say the recipient applied for a scholarship and you wanted to tell them that unfortunately they have not been selected. So imagine if you tell that person, we are pleased to announce that you have not been selected for the scholarship. So to the recipient's point of view, what kind of sarcasm is this? So this is a new level of rejection. Okay, so are you telling me that you're happy that I failed? Okay, that's really sad. Okay, so don't say that you are happy something bad is happening to somebody. Or I am delighted to inform you that you have not been selected for the job position. Or you will be pleased, you will be happy, you will be pleased to learn that the shipment is delayed for 3 months. Will you be happy? From the person who is receiving, this is not right. You shouldn't be using like good vibe sentences to give you like a feeling of bubbly and happiness and then just to punch you in the face. Don't do that. Okay, so you choose the correct phrases for giving good news and also to give bad news. Choose the right phrases. And vice versa, if you're telling someone that they have succeeded, janganlah cakap, we regret to inform you that you have been selected as the winner. Or I'm afraid it will not be possible. Or after careful consideration, we have decided. Right. To note that phrases for giving bad news is usually longer than giving good news. Because for giving bad news, you have to be very careful in telling the bad news. Okay, because once again, we do not know or we are not sure how the recipient will respond to the bad news. So it's best if you stay formal. I'd like to use the analogy that if the bad news is a punch in the face, so you give the person cushion first. Okay, here, take one cushion and then I'll punch. Okay, that's the bad news. Right. One very, I think, quite recent example that I have about giving bad news is I've seen one shopping mall that needs to be sanitized and closed down for a certain period of time. Okay, so that's bad news, right? So unfortunately, the memo that is pasted in front of the place stated that we are pleased to announce that the place will be shut down for a few days for sanitizing purposes because of the meeting the SOP and all for COVID-19. So it's really not suitable to be saying that, oh, you're happy that we're closing down because we need to do something at the place, right? Or to be giving bad news. Just write down, after careful consideration, we have decided, or I'm afraid it will not be possible to offer you 70% discount. Banyak sangat, that's too much. 70% is too much for you to ask. So I'm afraid it will not be possible for us to offer you 70% discount. Or we regret to inform you that we regret to inform you that we will not proceed with the deal. Okay, not going to proceed. Or after careful consideration, we have decided not to offer the position to you. Okay, so that is a kind of rejection. So use the correct phrases to give good news and also the bad news. And for the last one is for complaining. For languages that you use to talk about complaint. Okay, so talk about how I am writing to express my dissatisfaction. So please note that the goods we ordered have not yet arrived. We regret to inform you that our order is now considerably overdue. Or I would like to query the transport charges, which seem unusually high. Okay, so some of this complaint we see or hear quite often. I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction versus I dislike, I hate. I don't like. Or please note that the goods we ordered on certain date have not yet arrived. Why are you sending my item out so late? Why the delay? Why is there a delay? Or we regret to inform you that our order is now considerably overdue. Same with the previous. Why is my order not yet here? Okay. Where is my parcel? Where is my item? Where is my product? Where is the services that you promised? Okay. Or the last one, why is the price so expensive? Direct hand. Why is the price so expensive? Versus, I would like to query the transport charges, which seems unusually high. So you request for an explanation. Making a complaint. Okay, formally write a letter to actually request for a kind of adjustment to be made is actually more effective than going to make something viral on social media. Okay, that is the trend nowadays, unfortunately, and I advise against that. So for students, if you have a complaint, channel it to the right place. Okay, rather than involving the whole world to know about the issue that is going on, that may not be that may or might not be the best solution, but see to it case by case. Unless if you have already communicated to the right channel, but still there is no action or there is nothing being done or thing does not progress, then I suppose you could do what you see best. But from Miss punya personal point of view, my personal point of view is to best keep it with the right channel. Use the right channel to talk about our dissatisfaction or to talk about our problem and also issues as well as the solution. There. Okay. Perhaps it's also because I'm not a fan of drama. So I mean, drama is so exhausting. It's so exhausting to be having dramas. So I would like, if again my personal point of view, I try to avoid unnecessary conflict as possible because it's really emotionally tiring to be dealing with things that, especially in regards to the last point, which is on the complaining. Okay, we'll just do a quick share on the basic letter format. I'm not going to go into the formatting just yet, but I would like for everyone in this class, this is EOP for class 5. So if you are from a different class, check your own Google Classroom. So refer to your own Google Classroom under week number 6. There is a task for a letter writing. Our next class is on Wednesday. So the deadlines is on the 23rd of March by afternoon. I want you to refer to our grouping just now. I already said it in the Telegram group. So group Nutralicious, thank you for already submitting the company address. Just create an imaginary address. Okay, just maybe Euphoria is at KLCC or Health Pro is in Beira. So just like randomly give away a kind of address, like make it legit, like you have a postcode, you have the name of the place and the name of the road where the person can actually be communicated with. Okay, just create one for your company, and to the individuals, all the 22 of you who has been assigned this task, choose anyone from a different company, WhatsApp or Telegram them. Okay, ask them, I want to write an inquiry letter to you. Do you agree? And if the person says, yeah, no problem, send it to me. So get their names, or if you don't want to write the recipient's names first, you can write to whom it may concern. You can write to whom it may concern. I would like for you to read first on the formatting. So this is one, the format of business letter. Read first, letterhead, reference number, date, inside address, salutation, subject line, body of the letter, complimentary clause, company's name, inclusion notation. So follow through. and choose any one of your friends from a different company or different group. Write an inquiry letter from one of their product or their services, and then just send an inquiry letter. Write a letter to inquire. Ask them about their product. Ask them about anything that you want to know about their product. Okay, so I mentioned the word Tupperware just now. Maybe you can ask for the latest catalog, or you can inquire about the latest product, or you can inquire about the discount, or if you want to redeem your previous points or of any kind. Okay, inquire is to ask. So ask them. Okay, ask them the question. Write the formal letter. One page. One page should be okay. It doesn't have to be very long. Okay, so that will be the task for today's session for business correspondence. Please write the letter. This letter will be like a chain letter reaction in which, if you could guess, the next type of letter that you'll be writing is a response to the inquiry. So write the letter and submit it to our classroom. Okay, this is the QR code for today's class. You hold on. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next session.